Hey everyone, I wanted to go over PFF breakfast. A lot of you have had questions about Rob. What do I eat for breakfast if I'm going to follow this PFF principle that you're talking about? So remember PFF, protein, fats, and fiber. So you have to get out of the mindset of the typical American breakfast of eggs, bacon, toast, oatmeal, that sort of thing. So behind me, I have a breakdown of proteins, fats, as well as fiber, and we'll talk about carbs as well and where to have them and apply them. So with proteins, you've got a number of different choices, and obviously these are more animal sources, and the reason why I recommend animal sources is because they're a complete source of protein in terms of the essential amino acids that you can get. So you don't have to go with eggs. You can go with eggs, and again, this is a principle-based plan, so if you're in China and they don't have the typical American foods, well, they might just have seafood. So you're gonna just mix and match and you have some seafood that morning. So you could have seafood in the morning. It could be smoked salmon, it could be a can of sardines. That's what I do sometimes, it's easy. Low mercury content. So you would have this and then you would add your fat. So you could have avocado oil, it could be butter or ghee, coconut oil, palm oil, olive oil. So these are all great fats, very stable at moderate temperatures. And so one thing that you want to be aware of with the PF, the protein and the fats, is that remember the protein sources do have fats. So for example, if you choose, let's say chicken breast, pretty lean, not much fat. So if you have chicken breast and you have, let's say steamed broccoli, that's a pretty low fat meal. And a lot of people say, God, I feel hungry like an hour after I eat chicken and broccoli. Well, obviously you have no fat. So in this case, if you do chicken breast, then you can add in some avocado oil and you can saute your broccoli. Then that way you get the fat in there and that helps to satiety, but also helps to stabilize your blood sugar. So you can mix and match that depending on the type of protein source that you have. Now, as we move to fiber, I would always say we want to emphasize, and I want to always emphasize veggies first. So that's ideal because there's no sugar, it's just pretty much fiber and you're getting phytonutrients, vitamins and minerals, etc. With the vegetables, obviously fermented veggies are number one on my list. So if you can go with kimchi, sauerkraut, pickled veggies anytime, that's only going to help with your gut health and your gut diversity. Then on the list will be broccoli, cauliflower, spinach. And again, if you have a sensitivity to these types of veggies, you get bloating, gas, whichever, switch them out. I can't do Brussels sprouts, so I do broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage. The cruciferous vegetables are high on my list because they are high in sulfur, and sulfur is so important for detoxification in the long term in regards to production of glutathione. Second on the list will be fruits. So we're talking berries, apples. Coconut is technically a fruit. It does have fat in there as well, obviously. But these are higher fiber fruits, so that would be ideal again to help to stabilize blood sugar. So you combine the PFF, protein, fats, and fiber, and that helps to really have a slow release of blood sugar. Third on the list would be root veggies. So root veggies do have fiber, but they do have, and depends on what they are, whether it's sweet potato, parsnips, yams, they do have a higher density of glucose elevating carbohydrates, starches in them. So if you're, for example, someone who is diagnosed with PCOS and you do have high insulin levels, well, you do have to lower the insulin levels as part of your long-term game plan to become healthier and to normalize your hormones. So for someone like that, I wouldn't recommend root veggies. I would recommend mostly veggies and even sparingly on the fruits because I really want to help keep insulin levels lower. But if I have someone who's a young athlete and is active all the time, then I'm going to probably get them to do root veggies and a mixture of all these things all the time, and that's not a problem. So the worse your health typically is, or maybe you're overweight, maybe going to obesity, you got to stick with more veggies. The leaner you are, you can probably go have a more leeway and you can get more fruits, root veggies, etc. Now, the red, this is in red for a reason, these are the carbs post-workout. So these have the potential to elevate your glucose quite rapidly. So rice, quinoa, bananas, oats. Oats, yes, they do have 5 grams of fiber per half cup, dry cup, but they do have the capacity to raise your blood sugar long term. So again, like I said, if you're more on the spectrum of you've got some medical issues, then these are the ones you probably have to avoid unless you have them post-exercise. Sometimes I might not even give them to people post-exercise, even though they earn them because they have got some medical issues going on. But if you're healthy, you're very active, that's where you enjoy your carbohydrates. Have them after the workout to help facilitate recovery, etc. So hopefully this gives you a rundown that PFF is a principle-based plan where you can mix and match your protein, your fats, and your fiber to really stabilize your blood sugar. And again, that's so important first thing in the morning because whatever you are doing to start your day to influence your blood sugar is going to affect your blood sugar after lunch and even into dinner and affect your hormones at night and ultimately affect your sleep. So in reality, when you eat PFF, it really helps to stabilize your blood sugar, but also help the hormones in the long run. Till next time, eat well to feel well.